Over the past 2 decades, Pakistani banking has undergone drastic shifts. There were the good days when foreign banks could be spotted every few kilometers in the major cities and consumer financing was all the craze. Then came the bad days and with them the defaults. Global players pulled out and everyone flocked to lending to the sovereign. Amid these cycles, however, one trend had continued unabated: the rise of Islamic banking. Its deposit base increased from 83.7 billion rupees in December 2006 to 4.9 trillion rupees as of June 2022. That's a compound annual growth rate of 30%. Consequently, the share of Islamic in overall banking deposits has jumped from 2.8% to 20.5% in 16 years. The point here is that an average Pakistani, if given a choice, prefers Islamic financial products. In a deeply religious society with an aversion to riba, many firmly believe Islamic is the way forward to increase the number of banked people. The Global Islamic Fintech Index ranks Pakistan 9th out of a list of 64 countries with a market size projected to be $2.8 billion by 2025. Yet, very few identify themselves as Islamic fintechs or even use the word in their branding. Obviously, many of the biggest names in the sector are actually payment players, primarily digital wallets, thus making it sort of understood that they are Sharia compliant. But there are also quite a few players in the lending and investment categories where Sharia compliance can be a major factor. And that's where you see the lack of Islamic fintechs, which leads to the question: what makes a company Islamic? Founder and CEO of Hubble, Umar bin Essen, pinned it down to 3 pointers. 1. Board and governance structure include Sharia audit. 2. Sharia controls on financing transactions, merchant onboarding, shareholding equity structure, and vendor-employee contracts. And 3. Ideological commitment and the ethical homogeneity of founders, leadership, and the board. Even globally, the debate is still pretty subjective, as one survey shows that 44% of industry participants believe that certification or declaration isn't necessary to be considered Islamic fintech. Admittedly, the methodology to identify Islamic fintechs is flawed. Perhaps it could be that some of the players just don't have a particularly active website that articulates the positioning well. However, that raises some questions about their own digital savviness and branding, which is lousy in its own right.